Hey there, thank you for joining me for today's practice. My name's Paula. So today is a yin yoga practice that's going to be focused on opening up the heart and the chest space, as well as just a little bit of the spine and lower back. It'll be really amazing if you have got a bolster. If you don't, just grab a couple of really firm cushions or pillows that you can use. And if you do have 2 blocks, we will use that for the first pose. If you don't have blocks, then you can just use the bolster instead, or your cushion. So don't worry if you don't have your blocks. And we're going to start in a seated position on one of your cushions, or if you have a blanket or your block, just sitting up. Just find yourself in a comfortable seat. Make sure that you're really nice and warm. As a yin practice, they're going to be kind of holding still poses for quite a long time. So socks, jumpers, whatever you want to make yourself feel really cozy and nurtured. And let's make a start. So find your comfortable seat. We just want to elevate the hips a little bit so the knees are a bit lower. When you're ready, placing the hands down onto the thighs, closing down your eyes. Starting to notice the sensations in the body. Just feeling your sitting bones grounding down into the cushion or the blanket underneath you. Noticing the temperature of the room. And clothing against your skin. Allow the muscles of the face to soften. Releasing the jaw. And then allowing the muscles of the throat to relax. And then starting to follow the breathing in and out through the nose. You might notice a little bit of sensation at the tip of the nose as you inhale and as you exhale. The air is slightly cooler as you inhale and a little bit warmer as you exhale. Just continue staying with your breathing. And in a couple of moments, we'll add a count to the breath so we can try to extend the exhale. Let's exhale completely. On the next in-breath, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own. If you feel comfortable to do so, take the exhale count for an 8. So we're actually going, extending that exhale double the length of the inhale. Last couple of rounds. And the next time you finish your exhale, just allow the counting to finish up. Continue following the breathing, and you just might come back to that even inhale and even exhale. And throughout today's practice, we'll be using a mantra every now and then, and it's the loving kindness mantra that you can draw on whenever you'd like to, and I'll just bring in some reminders throughout the practice. And the mantra being an affirmation that you'll repeat to yourself. Let's bring the left hand onto the chest and then the right hand on top. Just feeling the grounding sensation of the hands resting just over the chest and heart space. And listening to the mantra. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. And repeating it to yourself with me this time. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. Just one more time. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. And staying with your breathing. And releasing the hands down. And gently opening up the eyes. Stay seated on your block or your blanket, and then let's bring the right leg in front. We're going to come into our cross-legged position here. Take the hands down by your side. We'll take a couple of poses where we won't hold them for as long, and then we'll start to move into our more classic yin poses. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, start to walk the hands forward. Shift the hips a little bit further back, lengthen out through both sides of the waist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, reach that sternum forward, maybe planting the hands, palms of the hands down. And if you feel comfortable to keep the eyes closed, feeling free to do that. And then walk the hands halfway back up again. And then start to rotate over towards that right knee. So you're turning the torso on a diagonal. Take an inhale, lengthen out through both sides of the waist. As you exhale, walk your hands back out again. Palms can be flat. Turning the sternum towards that right knee. Walk your hands back towards the center. Reach those hands a little bit further forward. And then walking the hands back up. And let's swap the legs around. So bringing the left leg in front. Hands by your side. Taking an inhale. And then exhale, walking your hands forward. Reaching the sitting bones back as you lengthen out through both sides of the waist. And then walk the hands halfway up. And let's rotate around towards that left knee, lining up the sternum as much as you can with the left knee. Take an inhale and then exhale to walk your hands out again. Pressing down through that right sitting bone. And then let's walk the hands back to the center. Maybe walking those hands a little bit further away. One more full breath. And then on the next in-breath, let's walk the hands back up to a seated position. Coming off your blanket or your block, and let's set up for our first pose. We're going to take a supported fish or Matsyasana. So if you have your blocks, I want you to place one across parallel with the top edge of the mat, and then the other one long. So it's going to sit along the top part of your spine or your thoracic spine and the scapula. If you've got your bolster, just have the bolster lengthways. You can just lie down on that or your cushions. And you want to set up the first block around the middle part of the spine. You lie all the way back down, and then you want to have that second block underneath the center part of the head. You might need to make a couple of adjustments, so make sure you feel comfortable. If you need to move your block a little bit higher, a little bit lower. And once you're there, let the arms relax and extend the legs long. And feet together, they don't have to be flexed or anything like that. Just keeping the legs a little bit closer together. Letting the shoulder girdle spill open. Palms facing up. Closing down the eyes. feeling into that area around the chest and the heart space, and noticing just this action of opening up through the upper body. And sometimes we can feel quite vulnerable having our chests open in this way. There is that tendency to close down the chest when we're struggling with whatever it is that might be going on for us. And sometimes it's just an accumulated tension that we hold in the upper body, in the chest. So using your breathing and having a sense of being really gentle and kind to yourself here. And we're leaning into that vulnerability rather than turning away from it. Knowing that you're okay and knowing that you're safe. And know that anything that comes up here, whatever's here for you right now, it belongs. Just last few moments here. Very gently starting to open up the eyes. And just placing the feet flat onto the mat and bring the forearms down, palms facing down. Starting to lift the head and then using your forearms and your hands to come off your bolster or your block or blocks. Popping the blocks out of the way. And then let's bend the knees up and take the arms around the legs. You can hold onto the forearms or the elbows and let yourself curl in to a little ball here. Just feeling free to keep the eyes closed. Just feeling that thoracic spine. Let's curve the other way now. Just letting go of any unnecessary effort here. Maybe the face, the shoulders, or the belly. And then starting to open up the eyes, coming back upright and extending the legs out long. Just for this next pose, we're going to use our bolster, or if you've got your cushions, use your cushions. Place it lengthways, and we're going to lay the right side of the body onto the bolster. So you want to place the bottom part of the right rib cage down on the bolster, laying down across, extend that right arm underneath, and then take that left arm up and over, taking hold of that left wrist, and let the head relax down. If your head's really uncomfortable here, pop a blanket or a cushion underneath so your neck's not on an odd angle there. If you feel comfortable to just lay down, then stay where you are. And just using that right hand to gently lengthen out that top arm. Let the legs be really relaxed, closing down the eyes. Just gently opening up through that side body up into the upper armpit. Just finding the breath. And a reminder here that you can draw on your loving kindness mantra whenever you need to. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. And we're using that little bit of effort to lengthen out that top arm, but at the same time we want to surrender the weight of the body. And if you notice you drift off into thoughts, gently bring yourself back to the breathing, remembering that even breathing. Noticing where there's space to soften. Last couple of breaths here. And then very gently releasing that top arm, opening up the eyes. Just using that left hand to press yourself up, starting to open up through that right side body And then coming all the way up, turning to face the top of your mat, making a diamond shape with the legs, and taking an inhale to lengthen up. As you exhale, sliding the hands down the legs and allowing your spine to C-curve here, so we don't need to keep it into that flat back position. And just take this pose, butterfly in between sides. Just noticing any feedback, any difference in sensation between the left and the right side of the body. And then inhale, coming back upright. And then let's set up to go to the other side. So we're turning over onto the left hip, bottom part of that rib, coming down onto the bolster. So you're laying down on your left side, extend that left arm along, take the right arm up and over, using that left hand to try to lengthen out that right arm. Remember to use the blanket underneath the head if that feels like it'd be useful. Making those little adjustments to make yourself feel comfortable. And then once you're there, trying to find stillness. Surrendering the weight of the body. Every now and then, lightly scanning the body and noticing if there's any unnecessary holding. That sense of letting go is happening over and over again. And sometimes we meet a point of resistance and then it softens. And often we'll have habitual parts of the body where we might hold some tension. So you might let it go, and then after a little while you'll notice that that's started to contract a little bit again. And once again, coming back to the mantra if you'd like to. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be at ease and happy. Last few breaths here. Starting to let go of that top arm, using that right hand to come back up, as well as that left hand press into the mat. Just open up through that left side body for a moment. And then coming all the way to your seated position, facing the front. Once again, coming into your diamond shape with your legs. Taking an inhale to lengthen up and then sliding the hands down, the legs curving through the upper body. Letting the upper body curve, the head relaxes. And then coming back upright. Let's turn the bolster so it's lengthways now. And extend the legs out long for a moment. We want to have a little bit of space between the bolster and the lower back so it's not right up against the back. And then shift the weight into that left hand so you can bring that right foot back behind you, toes pointing backwards. And you could pop a blanket or a cushion underneath your knee if you're feeling like it's lifting up here. If this really doesn't work for any reason, you can just bring the sole of the foot in. Otherwise, toes pointing back. And then let's bend to this left foot. Use your hands, start to lean back, and you might need to move a little bit further away. So you just want to have just that little bit of space, about 15 centimeters, so it's not right up against the lower back. And then start to lie back on your bolster or your cushions. Let the head rest down. And with this left foot, it just helps to level out the pelvis. So the weight really wants to fall over to the left. You want to keep that weight shifting over to that right hip bone. You could let your arms just open out, palms facing up. Or if you'd prefer to take the arms up above the head, taking hold of the elbows, feel free to go for that. And either keep that left foot where it is or extend it out long. So if you feel like you need that foot down for balance, then feel free to keep it there. Otherwise, long is fine. And once you've found your position, settling into stillness. And staying with your breathing. And let's bring our attention back to the mantra. We'll make a slight change this time. So when you repeat it to yourself, think about someone who you care about, who might need your thoughts, your love. And repeat to yourself, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be at ease and happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be at ease and happy. And if you have chosen to have your arms up above the head, and if it becomes too much, always feeling free to just release the arms down by your side. Or alternatively, you could go the other way. If your arms are down, you could take your arms up. Just noticing if there's any softening that can happen, particularly on the exhale. And those sensations in the hip, the thigh, probably intensifying a little bit. So if that's the case, you're just using the breath to meet that rising sensation. Last few breaths here. Gently starting to open up the eyes, releasing the arms down by your side if they're above the head, and lifting up the head, using your hands and your forearms to come back upright. Shifting the weight over to that left hand so you can extend the right leg long. Give the legs a little bit of a wriggle out and just use your hands to just rub the outside of this right knee as well. And then let's change sides. So shift the weight to that right hand, bring that left foot back behind you, toes pointing back, and just taking a moment to lengthen up. And then starting to take the hands back, leaning back onto the hands, finding the bolster and lying all the way back. Oh, I forgot to say, if you want to have this right foot bent, foot flat on the mat, and just start there. And your choice, either arms by your side or take them up above the head. Could be the same or could be different from the first side. And using this right foot to help shift the weight over to that left hip. And you could choose to keep that right foot where it is, or alternatively extend that right leg long. And keep the foot relaxed. Trying to keep the right leg parallel. So that's knee pointing up towards the ceiling. Just feeling the tips of the shoulders drop back down towards the mat. It's particularly if you've got your arms down by your side and palms facing up. And every now and then lightly scanning the body for any unnecessary tension or holding. And if you'd like to return to the mantra once again, bring to mind your person who you'd like to hold while you repeat the mantra. It's in your own time. Letting go of the mantra whenever you feel ready is to come back to the breathing. Surrendering the weight of the body here. Last couple of breaths. Noticing if there's any letting go that can happen in these last few moments here in this pose. Just gently opening up the eyes, returning the arms back down by your side if they're above the head. Starting to lift the head, turn the palms to face down, using your hands, coming all the way back upright. Shift the weight into that right hand so you can extend that left leg long. Give the legs a little bit of a shake out, and then using your hands, just rub the outside of that knee. Just encouraging the circulation to come back in. And then grabbing your bolster, we're going to go for our forward fold or our caterpillar to finish off before we take our Shavasana. And your choice here, you might be able to just come forward on your bolster or a little bit further down if that's available. Or if you want to stay a little bit more upright, if that just feels better for your body, you could even pop your bolster up quite a bit higher. Just choose what feels right for you today. Just allowing the body to curve so we don't need to go for that long kind of active forward fold that we might usually engage in. You can let the feet fall away from one another a little bit. And one last time, we're going to come back to the mantra. So with a little change. This one is a little bit more challenging. So either trying to bring someone to mind who you don't know, or it might be someone that you do know that you may be having some conflict with or struggling with. And I want you to hold that person in your mind. And then repeat that mantra. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be at ease and happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be at ease and happy. Just a couple more times on your own. Just letting the mantra go. Just coming back to your breathing. Just noticing if there's any softening that can occur, particularly on the exhale. Remembering that even breathing, even breath in and even breath out. And gently starting to make your way back out and starting to come upright. Take your bolster and pop it underneath your knees. We're going to set up for our Shavasana now. Just underneath your knees or your thighs. If you've got a cushion or a pillow or your blanket, you could pop that underneath your head. Just make sure that you're warm enough. Lie down on your back. Just setting up the cushion underneath the head. Just take that time to make yourself feel comfortable. Starting with the arms a little bit away from the body, palms facing up. Just allowing that back surface of the body to relax into the mat underneath you. Let's bring that left hand back on top of the chest, just over your heart, and then the right hand on top of the left. Just breathing into your hands. feeling that grounding quality of the hands on your body. Honoring your effort to come to the mat and be fully present with whatever's here for you right now. And when you're ready, releasing the hands back down by your side. Just allowing yourself to completely let go and come to rest in your Shavasana. Feel free to stay resting here for as long as you need to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Namaste.